Having an equipment breakdown right before you open can be devastating, but if you got a repairman on speed dial, that's a pro move. All this week we're talking about those experts that you're going to need for your food truck business on 10-Minute Food Truck Training.
This episode is brought to you by Hyundai. Think you know what an electric vehicle should be? Think again. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N, Hyundai is redefining what EVs should be. Learn more about Hyundai EVs at HyundaiUSA.com. EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary.
Hi, my name is Bill Moore, founder of FoodTruckTraining.Group, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. This is Partner Week, and as you might guess, we're talking about partners that you need to help your business move forward. Today, we're talking about the folks that help you when you have emergencies. A breakdown, whether it's the truck engine, you blow a tire, the refrigerator, the freezer, the fryer, all of those can be devastating, and many of them can take more than one day to repair. But if you got a maintenance program and a repairman already familiar with your business and you'll get back up and running faster. If you're a jack of all trades, that makes you a master of none. I can do simple repairs, but the difficult jobs, the jobs that don't make sense for me to do, I give them to somebody else to do, because it doesn't make a lot of sense time-wise for me to spend 5 hours fixing something when a pro can come and do it in an hour. So if you have a truck, we'll talk about those real quick. If you have a truck, you obviously need a mechanic, someone that can be mobile and come help you. And you want to think about when you might need them, whether it be 8 in the morning, 8 at night, or midnight. You need somebody that's going to be available. You may need to have a couple different people. Who's going to come tow you if you blow a tire somewhere? Who's going to come help you start that truck when the battery's dead? You need to have those things lined up so that when they happen, you don't have to panic. You want to develop a professional working relationship with your repair team, and that's what they are. They're your repair team. As many folks as you need to contact them ahead of time. So a repairman, as far as refrigeration goes, a repairman for electricity. Might be two different people, could be the same dude. You're going to need a mechanic. You might need a couple different mechanics. You may need a tow truck. You want to have all that stuff lined up. But there is one thing that a lot of people don't know is available to them, and that's called a maintenance contract. A maintenance contract is something that a refrigeration team or an HVAC team will put together to help keep your equipment running. And they'll come and do the menial things that most food truck owners forget about, like putting oil on different pieces of equipment or changing out filters or changing out belts. They'll come and do that on a monthly basis so that you can keep your equipment running at its peak. And when you have those kind of maintenance contracts, yes, they cost monthly money, but they also help reduce the overall cost of your equipment repairs. So if you have new equipment, it would behoove you to have a maintenance contract to keep all of those little piddly things that we all forget about that'll be in the manual buried on the last handful of pages that'll tell you weekly you should do these things, monthly you should do these things, quarterly you should do these things, semi-annually you should do these things, and annually you should do these other things that I guarantee you once you get past the first month you've forgotten all about because you're too wrapped up in taking care of your guests and doing all the other things that we have to do every day in a food truck. So having a maintenance contract helps you have one less thing to worry about. Consider it insurance if anything else. One good thing that having a maintenance contract also provides for you is they typically will give you an hourly rate discount. So if you have a maintenance contract where you're paying them, say $75 a month for them to come in and do the handful of maintenance tasks that have to be done, they may give you a $25 an hour reduction on their normal wage. So if you have somebody working 3 hours, you save that monthly fee already. So that's one of the benefits to having a monthly maintenance contract. Plus they will prioritize you and come to do your repairs above somebody else who's not got that working relationship with them. So they're out there, and I know they're in bigger cities especially, but if they're not, you might talk to somebody and say, hey, here's a different income stream you could do. Let me be your first customer. And that'll give them a whole new sales thing to go out and do and help them to generate cash, and they'll be kind of in your debt and maybe help to prioritize you if you have big equipment breakdowns from time to time. You got to understand that since we're a mobile restaurant, things are always vibrating and flexing and shaking and jumping and being bumped. So our equipment ends up breaking more frequently than the same equipment would if it was sitting in a restaurant. So please don't wait till you have an emergency to start looking for a service provider to fix something. Sign a contract, get a maintenance agreement, or at the very least, develop a working relationship. Take lunch to the auto repair shop and just say, hey, I'm going to drop off lunch. Just keep me in mind if I give you a call if I've got an engine trouble. If you feed them a couple of times a month, they'd probably be thrilled to come help you. Just build the relationship before you need it. I always tell everyone, think ahead. So now let's talk about an SBA advisor or a mentor or a coach. In our food service world, coaches or mentors, they have the business savvy that somebody just starting may not have. So if you got an SBA advisor, that's a good thing. An SBA is Small Business Administration. Or you have a SCORE advisor, and I'm forgetting what SCORE stands for, but basically it's old retired people that run businesses that volunteer their time to help people start their own business. They're there to help get you going. But you don't want to confuse a coach, a mentor, or an advisor, or a trainer with a consultant. Consultants are not the same thing. Consultants fix things. You have a problem, you call a consultant, they come fix it. Then they go away. A trainer will teach you how to fix the problem. A coach will hold you responsible for your results and then help you to get better. All a consultant will do is come in and say, here's X, Y, and Z. This is what you do. $5,000, please. Consultants are not coaches. They're not mentors. They're not trainers. Because remember, they need you to need them so they can come back and get more money. Inexperienced food service owners need help, whether they want to admit it or not. And especially if they're new to business too. You got to get the support from people that have already walked the path. Whether it be somebody like me who's done food trucks, that's done hot dog carts, that's done restaurants, or it's just somebody that's just in business in general. Get help from somebody. Have somebody you can rely on. It's so important that you find the right advisor to help you with your specific needs. So there's a couple of things you want to look for when you're thinking about bringing on an advisor or a trainer or a coach. So you want to look at their background to make sure that it matches with what you need. Because if the SBA assigns somebody to you and they're a banker, they're not going to be a whole lot of help to you. When they were a teenager working at McDonald's, not going to help you today. I was a teenager not working at McDonald's, but I was a teenager that worked in a restaurant. And I can tell you it is night and day difference from 1977 till it is now. And it is massively different. Food is food. We still sell the same foods. We still have the same issues food-wise, but personnel-wise, it's a world of difference. In 1977, we could have 30 employees on the schedule. 27 of them would be awesome. And we had 3 that we probably needed to weed out. Today, you're lucky if you can get 10 people to work, and this is even before COVID. You're lucky to get 10 people to work, and maybe one of them is good. The other 9 are not any good. And you have to put up with them because you can't work a restaurant with 2 people. And somebody that doesn't have that kind of experience can't help you. They can't understand what you go through. So you need somebody that's got a background that's going to be similar to what you need. You want to have an advisor that has the same kind of values you have. Because if they're not aligned with your values, you're going to be clashing all the time. So if they see a gray area you can exploit and you don't feel good about exploiting it, they're not going to be able to give you good advice because that's not how you want to operate. I'm the kind of person that's black and white. You do it or you don't do it. There is no gray area. I hate gray areas. And I don't advise people, this is how you can work around something because it's eventually going to catch up with you and potentially get you in trouble. That's not what I want you to deal with. I will teach you things, how to do things the right way. And that's not to say that you wouldn't benefit from having a different perspective, because if they don't have the experience and they're just saying, hey, why don't we try this? It's a gamble, and they're gambling your money because they have no skin in the game. You got to remember, training people is what I do for a living, and I have done it since the 1980s. When I started as a crew person, again, 1977, I worked as a crew person for a couple of years and decided I wanted to be a manager. And I got to be a manager because I was a good crew person. Once I became a manager, I was a really good manager. I learned everything they taught me and kept asking questions, and they promoted me, and they kept promoting me because I liked helping people. I liked training. I ended up in the training department of everywhere I've ever been. Even when I've gone to places that I did not want to be in charge of anything, I ended up doing training because I have that kind of personality. I have that desire to do things right and that desire to do things well. That's what I teach people when you have a mentor, when you have a trainer, when you have a coach. It's not only doing things the right way, but it's doing the right things at the right time, the right way. That's what I teach people. I have paid coaching. I have paid training. I can help you get the success you want. And if you aren't interested in me because I have that funny country accent, not a problem. There are other people out there that can do it. Get you somebody that will hold you responsible for your results. That's what coaches do. It's like having a boss, because we all do better when we know the boss is looking over our shoulder. When you have a coach or a trainer that you want to impress, you tend to work better, you tend to work harder, you tend to work faster, because you want their approval. So tomorrow we're going to finish up the week with a discussion on the most underappreciated partner in all of food truck world. If you guys are enjoying our chats, please support the podcast by clicking that support button below and give a monthly donation. If your budget requires you to only give a one-time donation, there's a link in the description for that as well. Either way, it means the world to me, and I appreciate anything you guys do for me. If you like being around like-minded, positive people, I've got a Facebook group that has tons of them. We just crossed 9,000 members a few days ago. Our Facebook group is called Food Truck Training. Thank you guys so much for listening, and as always, stay profitable, my friends.